Welcome to the 10 things that would make Zambia great. In this third video, I would like to share with you something that we need to have a serious relook on. And this is the issue of politics. We need to change the way we do our politics. We need to change the way we do our politicking. This has to change. Now, let me begin by indicating this. We seem to put so much faith, too much faith and emphasis on politicians. Politicians have a role. Of course, they offer leadership. They, make policies that help us govern our nation. They are in charge of our national resources. So they have a very important role. But the problem I have is we as a citizenry placing so much faith on politicians and looking at everything through the lens of politics. This is where I have a problem. As an example, you look at an issue of street vending. Street vendors are all over Lumumba Road. They are getting into Freedom Way. They are almost everywhere in the CBD. Street vendors everywhere. When there are markets that are empty and unoccupied markets, but each time, all the previous governments who have tried to remove street vendors and take them to the markets, they have been met with politicking. Are we happy with the way the city is? We are not. Are we happy with the filth which is in the city? We are not. Are we happy with the disorganization which is there? We are not. But no one can take the action, or at least our leaders are failing to take the action of bringing about that law and order because of politics. So my point is, we politic too much, even on things that are just straightforward. And I believe we are too poor as a nation for the level of politicking that we engage in. So let me share this. In fact, I will address politicians and our address with the citizenry so that we see how we can head forward as a nation. So I'll start with the citizenry. Number one, you need to realize that for you to succeed as an individual, it is 100% your responsibility. Don't look at politicians for you to succeed as an individual. Politicians have a role, and it is for national development. But for you to succeed as an individual, it is 100% your responsibility. Because if we realized that, the levels of complaints, the levels of talk, the levels of discouragement, it will be better managed, because you will then know that you're 100% in charge of your life. We can't always be thinking, no, we need to change the government. How many times are you going to change governments? You need to realize this. As you are complaining that the economy is bad, others are buying showroom vehicles. As you are complaining that things are bad, others are building. As you are complaining that things are not moving, others are progressing. So you need to realize that in whichever government, those that have decided and have owned up, they get to succeed still, regardless of the government in place. Why? Because your success as an individual is 100% your responsibility. It is like being born in the same family. You would have the same father, same mother. But some of your siblings, some would be successful, others will not be. When they had the same opportunities, they can go to the same schools, they eat the same food, they live under the same roof, everything the same. One becomes successful and the other one doesn't. Why? Because your success as an individual is 100% your responsibility. So what am I putting across? Stop thinking that you will succeed when you change government. Make a decision that I will succeed, I'll work hard, I'll position myself, I will put the best that I can as an individual. So you need to realize that. If you realize that, your levels of complaints will be better managed. So that is to you, the citizens. You have a role in your development as an individual. Then to the politicians, I would highly encourage that let us not politic everything. And we see now, this is 2023, we have just gotten into 2023, and people are now focusing on 2026 elections. That is all you are thinking about. Let us see how we can develop our nation. Let us see what we can put together as politicians, putting politics aside and focusing on national development only. If only we did that as a people, I believe there is so much more that we can achieve as a nation. Putting politics aside and focusing on national development. We as individuals realizing that we are in charge of our lives. If we did that, there is so much more that we can get to achieve. You see, the challenges that we are facing as a nation, we can get to achieve them as a people. And let me be clear on this. The people that have changed the world were not politicians. The people that have changed the world to what it is now were not politicians. Take, for instance, Michael Faraday, one who helped commercialize electricity that you are enjoying now, was not a politician. This platform where you are watching me on, it could be Facebook, YouTube, or whichever platform, it was not brought about by politicians. So most of the things that we utilize were not brought about by politicians. So we need to realize that as individuals, as citizens, we have a key role in developing our nation. The question is, what are you doing as an individual in bringing about national development? What are you doing? Those are the things that we should be discussing, not always pointing at politicians. What are we doing as individuals in making Zambia great? You see, even issues to do with unemployment. You see, the challenge of unemployment is too big an issue to be left in the hands of politicians. Too big an issue. Let us hold hands and develop our nation. Maybe the world has been waiting for a time such as this, when you and myself will be alive to change the narrative of this country, to change the narrative of Zambia. Let us hold hands and make Zambia great. This is the message from the radical entrepreneur, and the future is bright.